Peralada, not that far from Barcelona. We went to Figueres to go visit Salvador Dali's home, which I don't particularly recommend. It's a lot of bother. None of his great works are there. Parking is difficult. It's crowded. It's not at all spectacular. At any rate, so we decided to stay here in Peralada. Quite frankly, actually, we stayed just outside of Peralada in a rural Finca's Rural. Now, this place, boy, it was difficult to get any information on some of these historic buildings. So I've done the best that I can. I did this trip 2 years ago. Memory wasn't as strong as I thought it might be, and very difficult to find the definitions of some of these structures post videos. So bear with me on this. But nonetheless, you're going to get an idea of what the town is like. I mean, this is a medieval town. It does have Romanesque features, so it would go back to 10th, 11th, 12th century AD. This would be indicative of some of the main squares, the plazas, if you will. I wonder what they put in their coffee. Everybody walks fast in this town. So I took images of these things to help you perhaps to see where you're at. You can actually stop the image, stop the film and read it. Yeah, so this Castell de Peralada, this would be the main attraction, if you will. Certainly the most identifiable one. This chapel also is a place that you can rent as a wedding venue, so that might be a real spectacular way to spend a whole bunch of money. This is an ancient library inside the castle. I sort of was turned off. I thought the whole thing was just a casino, which always seems slightly cheesy to be in this natural place, and then you have this blaring casino. It has a bit of a mismatch, if you will. However, that's what's happening. It's a place for people to go ahead and spend their money. Cute little town, nonetheless. A number of convents, a number of iglesias. You may find that some of the spelling is a little irregular, even in Spanish. And I think that is the Catalonian influence of their language influence on the writing. This is the Romanesque convent. Romanesque buildings, that is, in a convent. This would be probably much more indicative of the Middle Age time period, the construction. I have been inside some of these historic buildings, and depending on who's taken it over, they can be quite remodeled. It looks like they have most of the control on the exterior, that you can't change a whole lot, but on the interior seems to be that one is much more free to modernize as much as you want. It's a beautiful environment. This is a heavy grape growing region, perhaps because of its proximity to the ocean. I think it's maybe 30 minutes to Barcelona. Figueres maybe about 20 minutes also, so it's a nice little stopping off point. It's always nice to step out of the towns and take a look at the environment that it's situated in. Let's continue our tour. Now that rounded structure, I couldn't figure out what that building was. Whether it's a church. I think it's the Santa Eulalia, but I couldn't confirm it. This area would have been under Catalonian rule. So they would have had their own unique language. Now this is another building, got frustrated. I just couldn't find what that church what the name of that church. I believe this is the interior of that church we just saw the exterior of. Sweet little chapel. Yeah, so the next to the tourism is going to be the wine growing region. So this is where we stayed, about 20-minute walk to town. It's a great little farm that's no longer is a farm, but they just kept all these buildings and converted them to habitations. The other big thing for Peralada is going to be this golf course, and if you're into golf, this would be a great way to spend it. Thanks for watching.